Is it okay to curse while being a Christian? I have a mouth of a sailor. Does cursing cancel your salvation, essentially? The short answer is no, of course not. You're saved by grace through faith. You're not saved by your vocabulary. But yes, there is power in the tongue, guys. So it doesn't mean your mouth doesn't matter, right? Your words matter. Absolutely, they do. Like Adam, when he was naming the animals, he was giving the power and life because there's life and death in the tongue. Proverbs 18, verse 21. What you say out of your mouth is going to, according to Luke, reveal what's inside of your heart. Ephesians 4:29 tells us, let no corrupt communication come out of your mouth, right? So the word for corrupt is sapros, which means rotten speech, things that are not useful for edification, spoiled, putrid, unfit, right? What God is saying is, don't let these things that are sinful out of your mouth. Think about like a dirty faucet. So when you guys open faucet, it has all this sludge and stuff like that, right? You can still drink from it. It'll hydrate you. It'll also make you sick. So you could live off of it. Technically, you may still get hydrated, but then it's like nasty. It's hard to receive. It's the same thing as like your body is the faucet and inside of you is Jesus, the living well. Why would you contaminate that with your words? When you curse and you're called to be a Christian, the problem is not the words itself. It's the contradiction behind the words. You claim to be living for God, let's say, but then you keep cursing and it doesn't show anything that's godlike. It shows a contaminated soul. What that does then is it closes people's hearts. The issue is not your word, it's the contradiction. So think about your mouth like a mic that God gave you to amplify. What is he using your microphone for? To amplify his truth, to amplify his words, right? Cursing is like feedback or like a weird note. It just randomly has feedback, right? What does that do? It makes the message unhearable, unlistenable. So obviously it's important to watch your tongue. So your mouth will not disqualify your salvation, obviously, but it can discredit you and it can close people's hearts to receiving salvation. And that's a big problem. That's a bigger problem than trying to act nice and act good and be good. So obviously you're not saved by your words technically, but your words do reveal if you're saved or not inside of your heart. Think about Peter, for example. Peter, he denied Jesus, and at the end of it, he cursed him, took his name in vain, cursed him. But did the curse cancel his salvation? No, it didn't. What it did do was, like I said, reveal the shame and the fear inside of his heart, the deception inside of his heart. And yet Jesus made him a shepherd. So does that mean go and curse out people? No. Your words don't cancel your salvation, but they do reveal shame. Cursing in itself is just a symptom, guys, of what's inside of your heart. So it's not about like, oh, I'm a Christian, so I have to adjust my speech and then gain salvation through that. Because your words don't gain you salvation, obviously, right? Professing Jesus, yes, but also believing in him. You can't just say Jesus is my Lord, because not everyone says Lord, Lord shall enter his kingdom. So your speech needs to be spirit-filled, gospel-centered, not Christian speech. Not I speak well to show people how good I am, because that heart is crooked. That's a Pharisaical heart. The Pharisees didn't curse, but they went to hell because it reveals their heart. Although they didn't curse people, they judged people when they weren't the judge. They ridiculed and criticized people even though they were hypocritical. So your heart is what's most important than the actual word itself. The word just kind of reveals the heart. Clean mouth, technically, right, can represent holiness inside of us. But just because people don't curse also doesn't mean that they have a holy heart too. There's a lot of people who are, and they don't curse at all. Again, it's not a vocabulary thing. If you think God won't use me because I curse too much, or my speech isn't good, or I'm not articulate enough, that's false, because God used a donkey to speak to Balaam. So it's not about, right, guys? Oh, I need to polish myself up. I need to do well. I need to X, Y, and Z, right? So people think speaking right and not cursing is what's going to get them saved. No, you speak right because you are saved. It's not a transactional thing. You don't speak right and refrain from cursing to get saved. That's a works-based thing. You speak right because you are saved. There's a difference here. Understand what I'm saying, guys? Barsies.